And then like 2 months later, I did like 600K a month. They thought like, no, this kid is like doing some illegal shit, like money laundering with China or something.
I'll be honest, when I was 14, I was like playing, I think World of Warcraft probably, like just being an absolute waste man.
And I knew like the one thing that made me succeed is.
Hey guys, so today we have a very special guest featuring on the channel. It's one of my old clients and close friends, Daniel Pizzi. Absolute killer in the Swiss German market. Like him and another friend of mine, they literally ruined it last year. Like they killed it. So yeah, Daniel's incredibly young. I'll let him introduce himself, but thank you so much.
Good to be here, Boyan.
And very excited to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, so I'm Daniel. I turned 18 like 2 months ago. I started like 2 years ago with e-com in general. Met Boyan like 1 year into the journey, but let's get deeper into it later. And yeah, I generated around 6 million with dropshipping, like not brand building. I'm building brands now, but mainly did only dropshipping. So from China to Switzerland. I started in the Swiss market and did like 90% of my revenue profits there. But now I'm moving to the US, big 5 markets, because I see more potential there.
That's crazy, bro. So with these things, I'd love to get to know your story a bit more, because I know when we talk, it's very much like business oriented, how to like grow stores. But you started at a really young age, like 16?
Yeah, I was actually, the funny story, I wanted to start with 14, like in the beginning stage of dropshipping in general. But I set up the store, set up everything, but then the problem was cards. I couldn't do a credit card, debit card, anything. I asked my mother, hey, can I get your card to start? She didn't believe in it. So I thought, I don't do it, like I wait. And then the second I got my first card from my first like job, I directly started. It was like with, I think 15 actually, but I needed around 1 year to succeed. So my first sales came with 16.
Got it. Okay, awesome. And was that with, like tell me that whole process, because I'll be honest, when I was 14, I was like playing, I think World of Warcraft probably, like just being an absolute waste man. So like, how did that desire come about? I'd love to hear more about the origin story.
Like I didn't grow up rich or something. I was in a good family, but I always wanted to have more, see more, like my parents gave me everything, so I don't like say, but I wanted to have more, get more, succeed in some area. And then I just like started to look up on YouTube how to make money online. I came across trading, affiliate marketing, all those, but somehow like dropshipping catched me. Yeah. Then I started with 14. But the real story how I started began with 15. So I was just learning for school, everything, like the usual 15-year-old gaming, Fortnite, all this. And then I thought to myself, something needs to change. I actually sat down with 3 of my friends. Shout out to Matteo, you know him.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like we knew, let's get it in dropshipping. Let's do it until we make it. Like there was not like, okay, let's do it for 1 month or let's do 2 weeks. We knew exactly when we start now, we're gonna do it until we make it. And then I started with TikTok organic and all this like failed. Yeah. Like not even 100, 200 views.
I think it's because back then TikTok organic wasn't as established. Because now there's the methodologies around like how you actually blow up on TikTok organic is very clear. But I think back then in like 2021 or something, like I feel like the funnels just back then wasn't really that poppin'. Did you go into US market straight away at first, or did you start with Swiss German? And why did you?
I started with like, I had an account, so I think it's like the SIM based, that if you have a US SIM, it's get targeted in the US. I know it now, but back in the day, I just had my Swiss SIM card into it, made it in German and US, but nothing really worked. I had like 4,000 views was like the max, but I don't think it like failed because like it didn't work. I had few competitors of mine who did, who made it work with TikTok organic, but I think just it failed on the ads, the stores, and everything.
Got it. Okay. So how did you go from making 0 sales in TikTok organic to like really blowing up with ads?
Yeah, it was like actually in coaching where I joined. There were 2 people in Switzerland. I joined there. I was broke. I had no money. I earned like 600 Swiss francs per month, but I thought it would be kind of good idea to invest like 5K into coaching.
Yeah.
And I knew like I'm going to invest it, but I need to make it. I knew they were legit at the time because they had many success stories from other people. And I thought, yeah, if I do it, I will make it too. But if not, I'm going to pay it for 1 year straight. So there was no option for it. And then they told, they teach their like TikTok ads and how to build proper stores. And I knew like the one thing that made me succeed is the coach back in the day, the coach like didn't really show how to do it exactly, but I knew there are people out there who made it work. What did they do? I did not search like for people, I searched for their stores, just copied their stores and then got my first 2, 3, 4 sales and made few thousands with TikTok at first and then switched to Meta ads.
That's so important, bro, because I want to highlight one thing that you said there that was super smart, which is like, don't listen to what people are telling you, look at what they're doing, you know?
Yeah.
And you have to like observe their actions and learn through watching what they do, because a lot of the time, I'll be honest, like even when you find success, sometimes you can't necessarily like put it into words exactly why it works, especially in the beginning when you don't have like that many reps in. It's super important because it's literally the same thing with me and like getting my first few clients, you know, it was like getting the messaging right, but I just looked at what people were doing and just tried to replicate that.
Yeah, that was exactly what I made. I just saw like this store was doing 2, 3K days. I didn't even look if this like USP making sense. I just copied it because in the first stage, I just wanted to make it. And I thought like the best method to do is like know what others are doing, what is doing good for them, and just copy until like I realize why it's going good.
Got it. So walk me through then. Obviously, you started with TikTok organic and then you moved to Meta. Were you always like specialized into general stores, or was it like you started on single products and then you moved to general stores?
It was like on TikTok organic, it was like single product stores, because on TikTok organic, you learn not from Swiss people, you learn from those US people teaching it. And in the US back in the day, like 2 years, the Meta was already like doing one product store. General stores aren't working anymore in the US market. But in the Swiss markets, it still did work, but we'll come to it later. But I did not know how like the Swiss market is going. So I just, on the TikTok organic, I just did one product stores. But then on the Swiss market, I did general stores because like that's the most effective, because like people aren't really aware of the dropshippers in the market and are just like, product page good, I'ma buy it.
Got it. Okay, cool. So in terms of like moving from TikTok organic to Meta then, like how quickly did you find like actual success, you know? Because like when we started, by the time we started working together, I remember your stores were doing like maybe like 200-300 a month, something like that.
I think we worked on Heimbild was the first one, right?
Yes, and then it was like Lons and then Flary? No, that was Ricky. Yeah. But basically, when I say Daniel's like legit, he's like one of the biggest guys when it comes to general store dropshipping in Switzerland. Obviously, like we'll get into how he pivoted away from that later on, but like, yeah, this, tell him that story. It's crazy.
So actually the first product which succeeded was a general store, but a beauty general store. It was like, I had the general store which called like Solucio, and then I tested there an hairstyler, you know, this 5-in-1 hairstyler.
Yeah. Like
everyone
the Dyson copycats,
Yeah, the Dyson copy. And then this performed, so I switched the store to Solucio instead of an O and A at the end. And yeah, it took me around, I would say, 10 products on Meta until I succeeded there. The first 2 products, maybe there were winners, but the product pages were bad, so I don't know. But then I got better and just thought, yeah, I need to test because someday there will be this winner. And then I tested this hairstyler with like good ads. I also had like few Dyson ads with the real Dyson.
Really?
Yeah, but took them off like pretty fast. and scaled it like slowly because now if I saw the data, I would have like 10x the budget and scaled it even further. But I was like scared to go like double the budget or like 500 Swiss francs more. I was just scared of it.
Yeah.
And then I scaled, first month was with it like 30K.
Okay.
And then the second was 130K. And then the third was 180. And then the store was ruined. Yeah.
Yeah, so the problem with like the Swiss population is relatively small, so it's like the life cycles of the stores were relatively short. But then I remember, like, for example, Heimwelt ran for ages, right? So like,
yeah, we have Swiss stores,
pivot?
general stores, which run like until to this day doing 6 figures. They're like just, the main point is good customer support and also like do refunds if necessary. But the most like why it failed is because also Facebook and the comments, feedback score, everything, Trustpilot and ad fatigue is the most important on the Swiss market.
For sure. So how did you go from Solucio to Heimwelt and like discover that whole process? Because one of the things I've noticed with all the brands I've worked with is a lot of like dropshippers, they kind of hit a cap between anywhere from like 100 to like 150 all the way up to like 300K, depending on the market they go after. Like they really die very quickly in that range. And if you manage to survive that time, because you get like payment processing bans, Stripe holds, different like feedback scores, killing your ads and just jacking up your CPMs, like all of these problems. How did you overcome that? Because I know in your peak, you were doing like 500-600K a day with, not a day, sorry, a month with these types of stores.
Yeah, so actually, I don't know how I survived that, but the feedback score, they always hit. And I thought I have found the method to just get a new page and connect the same ads and everything. Like at the moment, I did that and get banned. And like also other friends of mine just get banned from it. But like, for me, when I hit the feedback score just did a new page, same ads, same URL, everything, it ran again. So I survived like 3-4 months. And then in the Swiss market, if you scale like to 500K a month, even if you're the best scaler, the best ad strategist, you can't like hold that long enough until like the population is just like too small for it. You would need to, but actually an even bigger problem was the banks, you know that?
Yeah, oh, we'll get into that story. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So this guy literally had like a real life Matrix attack.
Yeah, real life.
Because I remember we had you just called me on WhatsApp, or I called you, I can't remember, and you're like, yeah, bro, like all the banks shut me down. I'm going into banks, police stations, everything to try to get my accounts back. Yeah, like tell me that whole story, because I don't even think I know the details.
Yeah, so I had this bank for like 2 years before I started even with ecom, and I got like few months, like 100 Swiss francs per month on it, 200, then started my little job, 700, and then it started to first come in with ecom, did like 1,000 a day, and then one of a sudden there was like 30-40K on my bank balance. And then the bank called me first and they told me, hey, where is this money coming from? What are you doing? And I told them, yeah, I'm doing e-commerce, I'm doing stores, dropshipping, everything. And first they believed it. They said, okay, yeah, maybe luck or something. This young guy makes a little bit money on the side. Then at 200K a month, it was like 150. It was like, serious? They called me again. Like, what are you doing? Like with 16. And then they thought, okay, 200K a month, it's good. Maybe we'll leave him there. And then like 2 months later, I did like 600K a month. They thought like, no, this kid is like doing some illegal shit, like money laundering with China or something. Then one of a sudden they blocked everything. All banks couldn't do like transfers. Like I had like 100K credit at my supplier. Shout out to her that she still fulfilled and believed me. And then I hadn't had a card, no debit card, no credit card, couldn't pay my ads, and even I was doing like 5K profit a day, but need to shut off the ads because I had no card.
Crazy.
Then at one time point I had like used for half a year, like 20 different cards from other people. And it was terrible, really terrible. Now I turned 18, I have now a bank, which is probably good, but to this stage I had like 4 banks, all were the same. First bank declined me. Second bank, they told me, no, you're under 18. We can't even give you a card which has like 100K limits per month, like 200K limit.
So you had to turn 18 in order to actually solve that problem. You couldn't solve it under 18.
It was like before 18, those 2 years were a struggle with all
suffering from success.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay. So obviously now you don't run Swiss market as much anymore and you're trying to go into US. I'd love to, like, actually, before we dive into like what you're doing right now, do you have any advice for like beginner EU dropshippers?
Beginner EU dropshippers, yeah, I would say EU, I can speak for Switzerland, especially for the German. I know how the market there is because I did my product research there, know also what is working there. So for the Swiss market, the advice is like, I did it with like general stores, dropshipping, everything. But the advice I would give now, you need to go the route of how the US is going now. Do one product stores, build like brands, and have good creatives. Good creatives is the number one factor in the Swiss market. And also with good creatives on the Swiss market, I mean, like, this is also an insider for someone who is going from decides like, I'm in the US, but I want to dropship in Switzerland, like Swiss German creatives, like adapt on the Swiss mentality. It's like hard for someone outside to understand what the Swiss mentality is, but have the payment processor which are used there. You can find like, when you go on the Swiss market ad library, just look up what others were crushing it. All the people who are crushing it in the Swiss market, Swiss creatives at the moment, a brand, like one product store, and just everything in place, you know.
Got it. Yeah, just for the viewers, by the way, when he said, when Daniel says Swiss creatives, so Switzerland does two main languages, right? Italian and German?
Yeah, it's like Italian, German, and retro German. There's also, but no one speaks it there really.
Got it. And then in the German that they speak in Switzerland is not like German, it's like Swiss German. There's like a different dialect. So having local creators from like domestic creators, that's basically what he means.
Yeah, because also the click-through rates are double as high. Because in the Swiss market, it's like you only speak in the school or at the bank or like professional jobs, very other meetings. You only speak there like normal German. Everywhere else is Swiss German. If you buy something in the supermarket, even in the banks, they speak Swiss German. And then it's more authentic if you have Swiss German, and when
like more
the Swiss people don't really like German as much. They're like in their bubble, the Swiss people, and they trust their bubble. And
got it. Interesting. Yeah. So now obviously you're making a pivot to more of a US market type of thing. Walk me through that process, because I know you've been hustling for the last 12 months, right? Just like grinding away at the US market. What have you learned during this period? And what are the systems that have actually helped you find your first few winning products and making it work in the US market?
Yeah, so it was a big step for me from the Swiss market to the US, because I thought, Swiss market, general store, testing 10, 20 products a day will work there. Because I thought, it works in Switzerland, why it don't work in US? It's because like the US is just way advanced more in this dropshipping space. So I had to figure out. Also, I did the same system which I did in the Swiss market. First of all, analyze what is like, how are people doing money there? One product stores, what creatives, general, all in the background, what is there. But I had to also learn on the hard way. I tested like 30 products, all failed there.
In US?
In US, yeah.
But that was on a general store?
No, one product store.
Crazy.
30 stores all failed. It's like just the biggest switch I needed to make is think more effort into one product. And I had this dropshipping mentality from the Swiss. I make the minimal effort for a product, but I test 50 products. But in the US, it all didn't work for me. So I had to make the switch to, I'm gonna test this product, but test it with like budget, doing UGC content, doing a nice landing page, have everything set up, upsells, cross sells, everything. And then it's also let the pixel warm up, new creatives. And then it's like, for me, it was also always that one creative that crushed it in the US, and then I was able to scale it with that one creative.
Got it. Okay. So it's mainly just like high effort is required to crack the US market.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think it's also possible in the US. I saw stores with like low effort, just scaling very high. But I think that's more of like luck scaling, not like skill scaling. And if you want to go the route, yeah, I'm a test 50 products, maybe luck will hit once and I'm a scale, but I'm not the fan of it.
For sure. Okay, cool. And then in terms of like a switch to brands, I also know you tried to do brands in the Swiss market in terms of like the teeth whitening company and then like I don't know if you want to talk about those.
Yeah, I
like
think we can do a company. Yeah, we can talk about the cleaning company, but it's not like in depth. I actually have a cleaning company with around 7 employees, and physical cleaning company. But it's more like automated, and that's the thing I love about ecom when I first started in, because I knew when I started with ecom, I think ecom is the most like the business with the most skills inside, where you take. I mean, when you start ecom, you can do TikTok ads, Meta ads, Google ads. You learn everything, which you can then apply to hundreds, thousands of businesses, what you want to do. For example, trading. If you like waste 3-4 years in trading, you didn't succeed. What did you take a lot out of it?
Yeah, reading charts.
Yeah, reading charts.
Yeah.
And then you try to apply somewhere. What can you do? Yeah, reading charts.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. So now, what would you say your primary focus is? Just US market, or I know you're also trying to grow the cleaning company to like exit and everything. I know you.
Yeah. So the cleaning company is like more of it's set up now. We're scaling it slowly. It's like the big advantage. We can like outcompete everyone in the market because we have a nicer website, better ads, everything. So it's the plan to grow it. To get one of the biggest cleaning company physical in Switzerland. Also have the Swiss stores, which we have now just constantly running. And the US market is now focus. And actually we will do a brand in Switzerland, which we are now developing, the formula, everything I know. I think you know. And that's also what we're going to launch in the next few months, like 2-3 months. Well, that will be like the last project in Switzerland.
Amazing.
Actually.
And then in terms, like, what has been your biggest takeaways in e-com and just being in business for so many years? And what would you say is like the biggest differentiator between you and like someone who's more of a beginner in the space?
I think it's like the work hours you put in and the discipline. I think everyone can succeed in e-commerce as long as they have 2 things, or they can do 2 things. One, search up anything on Google and get the results themselves, or get the questions replied themselves, and just keep consistent on it, like for months and months and months.
For sure.
Like if I had told myself, yeah, I'm gonna do it for half a year, I wouldn't be here because I just quit then. But I made progress. And it's like every day you make new progress, every day you learn something new, and that will bring you at one point that you will have success with it.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest commonalities I see in business, and like even the biggest reason why I would say I found success in the agency space was when I started, my mentality was, I'm going to be poor for the next 3 years. Because I know that if I commit to like 6 months, there's a chance I won't make it work. But if I commit to 3 years, something's going to happen in a positive direction, you know?
Yeah, it's always like that. In every business, I think you need just consistent and stay on it.
For sure.
I'm the mindset of you can actually have success in every business. You just need to have your time on it. Like,
for sure.
Keep consistently grinding on that one business and keep improving, learning of mistakes, everything.
For sure. And I also know that you brought in Christian, right? Your brother. Who's
yes.
Literally out on my balcony right now having a chat. What's it been like working with your brother and family? Because one of the common, I guess like false beliefs or whatever is like, oh, don't work with family, don't work with friends, yada, yada, yada. Which I think is like complete nonsense. I think like if you work well with someone, you're going to become friends with them eventually. And I feel like those are the best friendships, you know? Yeah.
It's like the biggest point with working with brother, you can trust them, and it's not like a partner or someone you know like for 1-2 years. They can like leave in like one month and then it's gone, you know. Then you're without him, and I think it's like also we had like the 2 like I could have gave him like all the knowledge, everything within a few months, and then we were like double effective. And then that's also why we did on the Swiss markets that great numbers, also like in the late stages, because we were just able to outperform everyone. Because in the Swiss market, it wasn't like the best creative or the best brand makes the most. Back in the day, it was who tests the most, makes the most. And it was like just we popped up 10, 20 products a day and just test.
That's insane. Yeah, because I remember, honestly, I think the biggest reasons why you were the biggest, well, you are, I think, probably still the biggest in Switzerland is just sheer work ethic, bro. Like, I remember, I don't know, I'd text you on WhatsApp at like 2 a.m. and you drop a reply and it's like, you get shit done really quick. That was a really good part about working together, actually. So yeah.
It was always like that, yeah. Just straight up 10, 20, 30 products per day. And I even had like the one time I just wanted to outsource everything.
Yeah.
You know the story,
Oh my God, yeah. You
I was like
ran
testing
the real life Indian method.
Yeah, I was like testing 10, 20 products a day and I thought, I'm already working 14 hours a day. I can't like work 24 hours a day. How can I test 100 products a day? And then I had like a factory of Indian VAs like doing from product research, like 3 people were doing product research, 3 people were doing product images, only images. Then 3 were doing the description with ChatGPT. Like we have like this prompts from ChatGPT, pasted in ChatGPT, the product details, and they gave out. And then another prompt, and it was like finalized because you couldn't tell an Indian VA how some copywriting needs to be, because for like $3-4 an hour, they will not understand those things. And we just like every little step, every process, also like those FAQ sections, everything outsourced. At one point we had like 30 VAs on everything and were able to test 60, 70 products. But then we stopped after 2-3 months because the quality wasn't that good actually of the products.
Got it. And did you try to apply the Indian method to the US market as well?
We didn't yet because like I already told you, we had those 30 failed projects. And I think for us at the moment, the most successful way is just to make quality on the US market, not quantity.
Interesting. And for the viewers then, like give away some niches that you see popping in the US. You don't have to give away your specific products because because the market, TAM for that is like relatively low, but like give the categories that you're doing really well.
Okay, yeah. I think in general the most like profitable for niche for me was health, probably for the most 90%, with like advertorials and also good ads. Direct response ads. I see a lot of this coming, like general longer ads, like those 10 minutes, 20 minutes ads. We had the most success with mostly 1 to 2 minute ads, also like 40, but general health and hair niche for me.
Awesome. Any final words of wisdom before we wrap this up?
Keep hustling, keep grinding. Yeah.
For sure. Honestly, I think like the highest level people I talk to, it just comes down to consistency. Because, you know, like I always tell some of my like one-on-one mentorships, I don't take on any more one-on-ones, so don't ask me for that. But like with those students, I always tell them like, look, you can never outcompete someone who's done this shit for like 5 years on like quality. You just can't. Like, we have way more experience, yada, 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 right? But you can outcompete on work ethic. Why? Because someone gets to, and you saw this in the Swiss market, bro. Like, people get to $250,000 a month, right? They get comfortable, they're chilling, you know, they might get a calm finance, they might travel to Dubai, yada, yada. You can outcompete the shit out of those people if you just work a lot harder.
Yeah,
you know, you can.
I mean, also for the US market, it's not like only the quality. It's like for me a mix of both. Like we just had like, instead of saying, yeah, we invest 5 hours into this store, we're gonna invest 40. But then we're not working less, we're just doing more into one project. So, and you can apply it everywhere. It's like work ethic, you can outperform everything. I think also an agency, someone who is like really hustling can like outreach, cold email thousands of people a day, and then someday they succeed.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, right now we're gearing up to send 300,000 to 400,000 cold emails a month. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's just like, if you just 10x the volume, you can, you might not 10x the results, but you can double the results.
Yeah.
You know?
We're also doing the Indian VA method.
No. It's a bit more sophisticated than that. No. We have a lot of like tech behind us. We're more so on the tech side that we're being more advanced. Because the problem with, I find that hiring like offshore VAs is that like the quality is just never really there because they don't have, you can't train someone on sophistication, especially for example, that whole thing about like Swiss German dialect as opposed to just the regular German dialect, someone who you're paying like $2-3 an hour to, they just, quite frankly, they just don't have the, like the skill to be able to implement those things, you know? So yeah, that's one thing I realized as well. We're also doing some like outbound processes in a really tailored perspective. I think actually over dinner, I'll tell you about some of that stuff we're doing on the sales side, because I think it will be really relevant for the cleaning company.
Yeah, we can look at it.
For sure. All right, bro. Thank you so much
thanks for being here.
I really enjoyed it. We're going to go for dinner with the boys now, because I think they're probably like starving right now. So
I hope you learned something. And yeah.
For sure. I'll also drop your Instagram and in the description below. Is there any other channels that you want me to include?
Maybe my club, my community. I'm a launch soon in community where you can join, learn
For
something.
sure. I'll include the Instagram on that as well. So Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.